Okay, perfect. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and everyone who is going to join who hasn't joined yet. Thank you for making it on the first session itself. It's a long journey for us, and I hope you have registered for the upcoming sessions too. But before getting into the sessions, I want to start with why we are even here. Why we are even doing this. The idea is that we have been noticing a lot of organizations exploring agentic AI within their own companies, trying a lot of POCs, not just with UiPath, but also with many technologies out there. It's more or less a solution looking for problem in many cases. And what we are here to do is figuring out how to really identify agentic opportunities. We have a dedicated BA role in a lot of our organizations. And a lot of those roles are designed based on the automation process that we used to have. They are automation BAs. Now, since the entire ecosystem of technology is going to be agentic, it was important to relook at that role and the role of everyone surrounding that to see how and what are going to be the tasks or the skill set or the tools that would be handy for them to be a BA in the agentic era. So that is what we are hoping to address here. Again, there is no right or wrong in this conversation. A lot of this will be a very personalized take by our experts during the session. If you have a take, which is contrary or which is even supporting the content that we are presenting over the next six sessions, please be vocal. Please do share it on the chat over here. Please do share your insights that you are gaining on social media. Tag us as possible so that we also know how you are taking this, how what are some of the insights from you, because we are also learning as part of the process. So that is what in a nutshell that we are doing. So I'm sure you had a chance to go through this series link. If not, it's fine, I'll share the link with all of you. So it is basically an opportunity for us to figure out what a role of agentic business analyst, agentic pre-sales, agentic opportunity identifier looks like, and what are the kind of tools that would be looking at. So today is the first session that we are doing is discovering agentic automation opportunities, a BA's new role in AI era. I will before sharing it with the speakers for the day, I want to quickly take you through the remaining sessions as well. I won't read through all of it. You can have a look at that. I'll share the link to this page for your reference so you can look at it at your own pace. I would highly recommend you all to register for each session individually so that your calendar gets blocked at that time and you get notified on when the session is about to start. In case you are not able to make the sessions live on that time, I would still recommend you to register for the session so that in the email you will get the recording of the session and the presentation as well. So it's a great resource that you are signing up for when you register, not just the live sessions. Please do share these sessions with your colleagues, your counterparts, your network, so that they can also get the value from this activity. In case any of you are missing out on any session or any of your colleagues you want to share who are not able to make it over here, it's fine. All the sessions are going to be recorded, and anyone who registers will get an email with the recording link. In case you want to see the recording link later, you just need to come back to this page and go to each of those pages once the session is over. We generally take about 48 hours to upload the recording, so the sessions will all be there for you. Please do stay stay on track so that you don't feel lagged. Feel free to ask as many questions as possible on chat. We will have multiple experts who are here to support you, and it's not just the role of the experts. If you see a question on the chat and if you have an answer, irrespective if you are a participant, feel free to jump in and answer and respond as well. That's the spirit of community that we are here to share. We have an amazing lineup of speakers over here. In fact, all of them are UiPath most valuable professionals. Mukesh, Manoj, Saloni, Pranav, Jobin, Akhil, Deepak, and Mohammed. Please do check out their profiles. Please do connect with them. They regularly, post very quality content around this topic on their own, social platforms, which are going to be really useful for you in, in taking this journey into the agents. So that's all from my side. I will share the link of this with you. And before I continue, I see that since a lot of you are joining from all over the world, I want you to also, take like a few seconds to share. Please do join the relevant city chapters that we have, so that you can connect with the local community over there. So if you are in any of these cities, or in Asia Pacific, or you are in any of the cities in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, or in Americas, we have local chapters which are run by people like yourself who are, really passionate about this technology. They come together very often and create a supportive environment in person as well. So join the city which is nearest to you. That's something that I would highly recommend, so that you get up-to-date notifications on any such activities which are locally relevant for you as well. So that's all from my side. I would hand it over to speakers, Pranav, Akhil, and Mohammed. Guys, over to you.
Jobin, are you speaking?
No, not yet. Jobin, you're on mute.
Pranav, you can just start.
Correct. Okay, fine. So hi everyone, I am Pranav. So let's start the session. So as Rohit has already given the intro, that we have a we have a session with six sessions of this series, and let's start with the first session where we will be talking about how discovering agentic automation opportunities, a kind of a new role that has been created, a buzzword that everyone wanted to be part of this role. So let's take a deep dive. So if Jobin, if you can move to the next slide, please. Yeah. So as you have already seen the line of speakers who will be talking about different sessions. So today we will be talking about the BA's role. Tomorrow someone will be talking about the how to pick the right agentic automations. Then someone will be talking about return on investment. Then team, how can you handle teams? How you can handle the smart ops, handoffs, and lastly how you can scale up. So please be with this series. You will get a lot of learning materials, templates that we will be sharing you at the end, which can you directly implement in your projects. Okay, moving to the next slides, Jobin. Yeah, about me, I'm working as a team lead at Wonderbirds, and I am leading the UiPath Bangalore community chapter lead. So if you are in Bangalore and if you want to connect with me and if you want to organize any of the events at your company, feel free to reach out to me and we can have a discussion on that. So apart from this, I'm 3 times UiPath MVP, recently certified myself into Agentic, and I would highly recommend everyone to be part of this agentic automation. Okay, moving to the next slide. Mohammed.
So hello everybody, I'm Mohamed Shaker from Egypt. I have been working with a lot of clients around the world, from Dubai, Saudi Arabia, in the Gulf area, and in Canada and Spain, Italy. So I have been to a lot of projects. Also, I have been, this is my first time as an MVP, but I'm certified as solution architect, agentic automation, business analyst, specialized AI, and I hope this session will fit will widen your minds and update your mindset towards a new world of agentic.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Hey, hello everyone. Myself, Jomit. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are from joining. And first of all, thank you for being here today for the virtual session on the agentic discovery. So I will spend a few minutes on my self intro. Myself, Jobin. I have closely 12 years of experience in the IT industry, which spanning across initial 5 years as a .NET developer, then rest of the years as a RPA. So I have been recognized as a 3 times MVP, and currently I'm working as a project delivery manager and automation solution architect at Wonderbots. So that's my journey, and you can see my UiPath credentials here in the screen. So without further delay, I would like to jump into the agenda for the day. So we have listed down few agenda for this specific session. So we would like to start with what makes an automation agentic. So that's the very first thing, right? And secondly, we would like to compare some traditional RPA versus agentic use case patterns. And later we will be talking about few qualitative markers for opportunity discovery. And definitely there are a lot of new terminology for every BA should know. So we will be covering those things. And we are coming to a life cycle of an agentic discovery, which is really essential and important. So we will be starting from the very initial phase, which is discovery, to the last phase of deployment. And we will be having some of the right questions you're supposed to ask during the agentic discovery phase. And we will be planning to conclude it by a few case studies and a few brainstorming exercises. So this is the agenda for the day. All right, now let's try to understand what makes an automation really agentic. So automation is everywhere, right? But most of it is fragile, meaning that the moment when data changes or something unexpected happens, the bot will definitely break. We might have experienced similar things, right? So what we need is a digital worker that can capable of think, adapt, and even anticipate the challenges. So that is what we mean by agentic automation. So in order to understand this automation, which is in agentic type, there are we built few slides which will you help to understand the core characteristics or the essential qualities each automation should have. So the very first thing is autonomy, meaning that the AI system that should work with minimal supervision, and in some cases absolutely without any supervisions. So that's a very fundamental first essential quality of an agentic automation. And the second thing is adaptability, meaning that it should adjust when the data format or context changes, uh, ideally adjusting to the situation. And the third one is reasoning, choosing the best path to achieve a specific goal. And finally, we have something called anticipation, meaning that the AI system should have a capability to anticipate next step instead of waiting for instructions. So these all are the four core characteristics we are going to discuss. Now, I was talking about few essential qualities. What will be the outcome of an agentic automation? That's something we really want to understand here. That's all about all about we are going to achieve a goal. That's what we are going to do it here, right? So when you're comparing typical RPA with agentic automation, the main differences is here. So there we are predefining something, we are writing script, or we are building a code for that will get executed. Here it is something different. On agentic automation, it is something like we are going to achieve a goal by putting so many things together. So we are going to talk about the so many factors, but let's understand what's make a system agentic. All right. I believe most of you are already seen this slide, right? A left brain and right brain concept, which is a unique combination of capabilities. So we know that robots, which are something deterministic in nature, meaning that if there is a precise rule, so you can write the code which will work accordingly. But when it is coming to the agents, that is something will totally working on the non-deterministic part. So that is something, as I said, it's going to be something on gold side. So it should have the capability of act independently. So that's a thing, but that's not the end of the story. So in order to understand this agentic automation in a nutshell, you want to put so many factors together. The main thing is we need to place three things together. First one is agents, and we have robots, and we have people. If you put these three things together, you can definitely achieve end-to-end automation. So that's what we are trying to achieve through agentic automation. So In order to make this in a flawless manner, we have orchestration and trust layer in picture. Hope everyone clear on this thing. Now, I would like to spend a few minutes on comparing the traditional RPA processes with agentic use case patterns. Okay. Normally, I thought of initially putting some tables to explain. On the left-hand side, I can put some RPA processes, and the right-hand side, I thought of putting some use cases on the agentic side. Then later I understood it's not the right way to explain, so that I would like to come up with a problem statement. So I would like to talk with this problem statement. Let's think about a specific requirement, a very simple specific requirement. Let's say that you want to send out email at 9 a.m. every Monday to your customers. That's a need, okay? And you know that on a typical RPA, you can build the code and you can send out the emails whatever the time you are defined. It's going to be a predefined action that will work well. But think about a dynamic nature, like something like customer behavior, preferences, and business needs are dynamic in nature. Timing, channel, and the content that work yesterday may not be work tomorrow. That's going to be the case. Okay, so that time we need an alternative system which should have the capability to handling these dynamic things, right? So that's where this agentic automation is coming. So I'm gonna explain how this thing will work on the agentic side. So I was initially talking about the autonomy, right? So here on the RPA side, it is something like you already defined it, and based on that, your code will get executed. But when it is coming to an AI system or an agentic system, you are just telling to a system saying that, hey, I want to send out the communications to my customer on a weekly basis. That's only one command you are giving to an AI system. Okay. And rest of the things will be taken care by the agent itself. So same way, I was talking about adaptability. So what is this? So the AI system should have the capability to adjust when conditions change. Let's say that if a customer stop opening emails which you send it on Mondays, let's say that he might be opening it on the WhatsApp, or he might be opening it on the email which you send it on the weekends. So the AI system should have a capability to shift the schedule based on the specific condition. So that is what adaptability here. And reasoning. So here it is something like the AI system choose the best path to achieve the specific goal. So I already mentioned that when we are talking about agentic automation, it's all about achieving a specific goal, right? So here the reasoning part will choose the best path to achieve the specific goal. It will decide on the same example I'm talking about. It will decide which channel is best, the communication channel. So whether it is an email or WhatsApp, or should I need to change the subject line to resonate, or should I build some content or build some personalized content to get more reach kind of things. Okay. And finally, we have anticipation. This is something like the AI system can predict the issues and act before any problem occur. Meaning that, let's say that if the AI system notice that the open rates are dropping, you have sent out an email but nobody is reading it. So the AI system can test option one or option two kind of things and understand how the engagement going to be. For example, let's say that I'm sending out an email on Mondays and I'm sending it an email on the Friday evening. So it will understand when the customer opening the email on, so sometimes on a specific time when you are sending it, people will read that, right? So altogether, this anticipation will understand the things and it will help to keep the outcome strong. So that is what the agentic automation differ from the typical RPA. All right. Now, and finally, we are achieving the goals. Maybe for some of you, this example also not that much understandable, especially if you are not from an RPA background. So I'm keeping one more example. All right. So this is a very a common concept which I took. Imagine you are on a road trip with just a printed map on your hand, and you know where you are going. But if a road is closed, you are stuck, right? So the map won't warn you, it won't help you to adjust. it just sit there. That's it. You can just keep it on your hand. But now just compare that the same printed map with a GPS navigator. When you give it a destination, I'm saying that I'm somewhere in the US and I'm saying that I want to travel from the North Carolina to New York. So I'm just giving my destination. It will take you to over, right? It is choosing the best route. It recalculate if there is any traffic. It warns you about the issues ahead. Something like that. Hey, if you are going this way, there will be much traffic. And it is make sure you are still arrive at your goal. That's exactly what we are talking here. So here you can see printed maps, which is nothing but an RPA. So which is something predefined. Whereas the GPS navigator, which is exactly the AI system, which is agentic automation, which we are talking here. So that's what I have planned for the day. My idea is just to set the context very clear. What is agentic automation? Uh, yep. Thank you, everyone. So Pranav, over to you.
Thank you, Jobin. So let me, can you unshare the screen? Yeah, thank you. Okay, fine. So I hope Jobin has given a perfect difference between traditionals and the new agentic terms. Now let's talk about few terms that Jobin has repeatedly used it. And I hope everyone is aware of those terms, but let's, on a safer side, let's discuss those terms which you will be hearing a lot during any of the conversations. So the first term is agent. When you are hearing a term called agent, now agent can, you can think agent of anything, maybe James Bond 007. No, we are not talking about that agent. So here we are talking about an agent, a self-directed AI system that can perceive, decide, act towards achieving a goal, not just answer a question but do something. So if I talk about from a BA lens, so think about a colleague, like, or someone whom we are asking to take business requirements, and then that person only planning the steps how to take the business requirements, plan the steps, execute them using some tools or APIs or without your constant supervision. So this is what agent is in a general term. Okay. Moving to the another term, you can be hearing multi-agent. So multi-agent is again a setup where multiple agents work together, each with its own role or skill set. So might be one of your colleague is doing coding, one of is doing testing, one of as a something someone writing the report. So every agent has also similar role. So you can divide those things. Okay, which agent will work at what is the purpose of this agent. So that is called multi-agent. Similarly, agent orchestration. Now, agent orchestration is basically coordinating how agents interact, hand hand offs, collaborate to achieve a complex goal. For example, now as I have given an example of a project manager, so that person will be assigning work, tracking progress, ensuring everyone stays aligned. So this is what agent orchestration will do. That role of orchestration, coordinating with others. Here when I'm talking about others, it can be agents, it can be human, it can be robots, anything that can be done using agent orchestration. Now tools can be what an agent can use as an external system. For example, you can think about your API, you can think about database, you can think about any RPA bot, CRM, ERP, anything that your agent or agent will take to gather information or execute an action. So this is what tools is. Similarly, context window, you can think about context window as something the amount of information the AI can remember in one go while reasoning. So for example, we also have that kind of thing. Okay, at one time we can remember this much. So this is what context window means. Similarly, prompt engineering, and I bet you will be hearing a lot if you are there in the agentic. So what is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is crafting some instructions to guide the agent's behavior and output. So here you are writing, okay, what kind of input you are providing and what is your desired output. Here are you giving examples. So there are different terms also. For example, few shot, zero shot prompting. So which I'm not going into details, but just prompting, you can understand how you are writing an input to get the desired output. And trust me, this is the most important thing during the whole agentic AI thing. Here, if you write a good prompt, you'll definitely get a great results. Autonomy, everyone is talking about autonomy in the sense the degree to which an agent can work without human input. So so we don't need someone to be micromanaged. So this is where how much time we want or how much amount of work we want, that we don't want to see robot can do it without our supervision. So this is where autonomy comes. Next term is hallucination. It's basically, in simple terms, how well you are telling a lie, a false information very confidently. And trust me, LLMs are very good in this. There are works going on to reduce these things, and there are different methodologies like RAG and other terminologies that will come into picture to reduce this. But in general, it is a term where means how an AI confidently produces wrong or made up information. You might have observed, if you're writing something in your chat GPT, you might be getting some of the information which is actually not available. This is what hallucination means, giving a false information. Okay, feedback, as the name suggests. So now how can you improve by training your current agents? How can you improve it by different methodologies? So this is also feedback. And finally, and the most important for any of the higher management, and that is called the guardrails. What is guardrails? Is basically the rules, constraints, policies that ensure that agent act within safe and intended boundaries, what you have defined. So, for example, if you are typing something in the chat GPT, your agent should not give you adult contents. Your agent should not give you something which you have not expected. So this is where guardrails comes into picture to help you, to protect you, that what you are expecting, it is giving you within the rules. For like you can think about a compliance rules in finance. Agents can't go wrong and violate standards. So this is what, in a general overview of different terms. This is not the only terms. There are many terms. For example, embeddings are there, RAG is there, vector database is there. In prompt engineering also there are different terms. Few shots, zero shot, few shots. Some are the terms which you will be hearing, but as a BA, you should know these terms which you will be using day in day out in the life of a BA of agentic AI. Okay. If all good, I am moving to the next slide. Here, this is just a basic screenshot of project lifecycle. So as a general BA, what we are doing, everyone knows about discovery, requirement gathering, design, build, test, and also monitor. Now, normal BAs, if anyone can unmute yourself and help me to understand the next point, that where is your involvement in your traditional process? Anyone can please unmute yourself and help us on this.
Hello, this is Narayan here.
Yes, Nara.
Yeah, so in traditional process, BA is involved majorly in discovery, requirement gathering, and creating PDD documentation.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nara. It's correct. So you are involved in discovery, you are involved in requirement gathering, you are involved in test. Anyone speaking? Okay. So you are involving in test, creating UAT and all. And then also in some of the cases, deployment, where you are making sure that the results that you are expected is matching or not. Fine. This is the normal BA's involvement in the traditional process. So let's see how this is different from the current process. So now from an agentic project lifecycle, from discovery to deployment, let's see what is the role of an agentic. So again, The terms will be similar. You can't expect something more on this. But again, the first term is discovery and opportunity identification. Here, the whole purpose of a BA is find where agentic AI can bring the most business value. See, earlier also you are doing the same thing, but here you have to think about what are the process pain points where automation or decision making is needed. Gather business goals, success metrics, like for example, reducing lead validation time by 60%. Whether is it doable or not, whether you need an agent or not. So this is where you will ask questions, whether a feasibility check you will do, whether you have the tools available, whether you have that qualities of data available, whether you have LLM readiness. You will do all those things and think about those things here now before moving to the next steps. Output, now you will be asking, so Pranav, what can be the output here? Output can be again success metrics. Okay, I can understand my process here. There are some decision making needed here, some automations needed, which can be done by agent. Okay, if you are good, let's move to the next step. Again, you can relate it to the same project life cycle, scoping and requirements gathering. And here is what you will define exactly what the agents will do and how it will fit into the business ecosystem. Here you will not just for the sake of doing that, I want to do agentic automation, I want to involve agents. No, here you have to think more of agents role. So if you are thinking about agents, so what kind of roles agent will have, whether it will have a researcher, planner, executor, reviewer kind of example. Then how it will capture the systems, how it will integrate with different ERP, CRMs, then how it will capture some of the guardrails. So here you will sample and write prompts, sample prompts as well. Okay. So scoping and sample things you are doing here. Now you will be asking what is the output of this particular requirements. So here we'll be focusing more on the agentic requirements document. If you are a BA, PDD is what you know as is to be. Similarly, you will do the agentic requirement document. This is the new term that has come from this particular agentic process. Again, process flows, use case diagrams, tools, data mappings, all those things will be done here in this particular thing. So this is one of the most important thing. Now, design and planning. Again, here there will be architects who will architect how the agents will function, interact with other systems. It will now need a BA plus solution architects who will think about, okay, which LLM I need, what multi-modal I need, memory strategy, tool invocation, what are the feedback loops, test scenarios. So you will be doing it. And again, build and training, you don't need to worry about as a BA. Actually, you don't need to worry, but you should be part of developing that prompts, developing which frameworks you should be thinking about. So now those things will come into picture. For example, whether you are going for AutoGen, LangChain, LangGraph, CrewAI, whatever name you wanted. So now you have to be part of that discussion. Earlier, your task was, I have given my PDD. Now a solution architect, you understand how you will design the architect. No. Similarly, testing validations, need to ensure the agents work accurately. Again, UAT sign-offs, all those things will be the similar what you know. There will be no major change in this. Again, deployment, how to move the agent into production and then monitor it. All those things will be more or less the similar. So here the most important again is the discovery, scoping and requirement gathering, and again on the design and planning. Okay. If this suits good, I'll move to the next slide. And here I'll not take much time. I have quickly, I'll be sharing about your active role here. So which is, I already mentioned it. So you can see here, I have created a graph where the screenshot where you can see in the discovery and opportunity identification, you will act as a lead. So your role would be, you will be leading it, you will be understanding the flow. Similarly, scoping and requirement gathering, you will be acting as a lead. Design and planning, you will act as an advisor. So here you will interacting with a solution architect, defining, okay, what can be our prompts and all. Testing and validation, co-lead, you don't need to be a lead here, but you have to be part of UAT. You have to part of the UAT test cases, edge cases, failure recovery, all those things. Deployment support, in the deployment you have a role of support, and similarly monitoring and continuous improvements, understanding the robots effective, safe, and aligned with business goals or not. So here you will be focusing as a co-lead. Similarly, if I move to the next slide, I have created, so I'll be sharing this slide. So I have given in more depth. So what actually in each of these scenarios you will be doing it. For example, discovery and opportunity identification, you will be identifying problems, opportunities, conduct stakeholders interviews, and the same way which you already know it. So when I will share the screen, you can go through this each of the point, because in the interest of time, I'll not be going into each detail. This is already I mentioned it. Okay. With this, I'll be stop sharing my screen and presenting it to Mohammed.
Okay. Let me share on screen.
And Mohammed will take you to the real life use cases where he implemented and how those things actually help him to transition from a normal BA to agentic BA. What are the challenges he faced in his existing project and all. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Mohammed, I can.
So
Yeah, we can
can
see
you
your
see
screen.
the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and let me hide this. So we have, like, I will try to be more focused about my points so we can go fast on this and as simply as possible. We will start with the real world triggers that can signal an agentic potential. How can we know as BAs if there is a potential and the opportunity to involve agentic automation in the case or not? We have mainly 5 triggers. These are the main triggers that whenever I see, I shall know that there is a need for agentic automation. The first thing is the frequent decision making. We have a lot of decisions that are not being able to be grouped into a rule-based decision making. We have a lot of decisions from a different context that needs a context awareness, more understanding of the intention, the meaning of the text, the unwritten knowledge that the SMEs have in their mind. This is the first red flag. We shall go with agentic automation. The second thing is the exceptions. If we got a lot of business exceptions, for example, we have a lot of exceptions, business exceptions mostly, that needs to be solved by human. Uh, just a normal rule-based fixing is not working at all. We need a lot of human reasoning to understand the rules behind and to work on this to fix the exceptions. The third thing, the processes where the output improve with learning. We do not have just one validation layer and it's a persistent validation layer. We have multiple validation layers and we need to minimize them as we are going with the process. We need the robot to learn more. Like, for example, this was done before in the document understanding and how things were being how our models were able to learn by the time. Here we need the same thing, but with the context, with the awareness of the case we have in mind. Also, the highly variable inputs. If we have many different inputs with many different formats, languages, everything, this is something very, very hard to be handled with a rule-based automation, where I define what input I shall get and validate. And if something was not matching the exact validation rules, it will be missed. However, here it's mandatory to have frequent variable inputs. Then I will go with agentic automation. And the last thing, the fifth thing is multiple knowledge sources. I have some policies, I have some contracts, I have this and that. I have a lot of things that I shall group in one part and give it to the brain, to the agent mind. So the agent mind, for example, ChatGPT, in our case, uh, if we give these documents to ChatGPT and ask him a question, ChatGPT will be able to answer. However, with ourselves, with the normal rule-based automation, this will not be allowable. But these points flags the need of agentic automation in our processes. And that's the main trigger of the case, the use case we have worked on in my projects and with my experience. One use case we worked on that included agentic that was necessary to proceed with the use case and to work with that to get a successful output. This use case is very simple: invoice processing. Usually, if someone with a RPA background, he, like in most of the cases, especially with finance departments, you will get to work with invoice processing, where you will have a lot of invoices. You shall process them, extract some details, and validate them against some systems. However, like an initial impression about the process, it's very easy, a straightforward RPA use case, normally found in everywhere and in every company. But with a deeper discovery, we found a lot of things. We found the multiple formats, structures, validation rules. We found different input formats. We found finance sections, 9 sections under the finance department. We're working each with their unique context and each with their unique contracts, agreements, policies, and so. We found more than 40 scenarios with a very high exception complexity. These are not normally processed by a human, by a robot. They are like, it's a must to solve this by a human. The mind, the reasoning, the awareness, and even the smallest errors, like just a typo in the name of the customer we are working with, the finance department is working with, a typo in this will miss out with our rule-based automation. With all of these, the requirements felt like an endless. We hit a wall with the rule-based automation. With that, we are just expanding our scope and re-expanding our scope and re-expanding our scope without reaching a limit, without reaching an end, and without being able to define the full rules. We need to set a rule-based automation. Every rule, with an exception, is adding more re-engineering effort. We are rebuilding this again and again. So, with all of that, we can say that it appeared to be an agentic automation process. With that, the main trigger that can be simply set here is whenever a decision making cannot be fully captured for a rule-based automation, we shall go with agentic. We shall have a context, we shall have adaptable reasoning, we shall have understanding of the meaning. With that said, we added the agentic automation. And with that, we saw a shift in the business analyst team mindset. You can see it, our mindset shifted from getting and describing each rule and each definition and each screen to how shall we guide the agent? How shall we guide our agent? So we are focusing more on capturing the source of truth, the documents, the policies, the contracts, the agreements, and how we will build our reasoning logic. How the okay, okay. So instead of a step-by-step rule, we are proceeding with allowing how will I build my agent to be able to give the proper reasoning to get me the output. So with agentic automation, we focused more on feeding the agent with a department-specific context, with each section giving us their policies, their agreements, their contracts, and embedding these into indices and ingesting these to the agent mind. With that, you can see a whole new shift in the mindset of the business analyst. We are more tracking where the point of truth, the source of truth is. We are more going towards how to get the context, how to let our robot, our agent understand what we need. And instead of having the PA feeling that discovery process is endless and is hitting a wall and a new wall and a new wall, we just set the path towards our goal without defining each rule and each step and each question in the middle. With that, we got a faster delivery, lower exception rate, higher customer satisfaction. He was very happy with handling more and more scope, more than what was defined with a rule-based automation, and the reduced engineering and re-engineering cycles. We have a decision-making robot that can do the decision for us. It's our agent. So with that, we felt like we have, it's a must, to highlight the top challenges. BAs face in the agentic discovery phase. So we have mainly 5 main challenges that you will face, that we face, that all of us face. And we wanted to group them here so we can work on them and avoid them from the beginning of the project. It's very hard to capture the unwritten know-how that SMEs use in their decision making. Usually, the SMEs, when you ask them about how they do the process, how they do the business use case, they will just tell you part of the process, and you will discover a lot more once you get to try it by your hand. However, in agentic, you need to teach these knowledge. You need to teach this knowledge to the robot, to the agent. So you need to focus more on how to transform this knowledge from unwritten to a context to give it to the agent so the agent have the proper awareness to do the process. The next thing is balancing between getting context, getting the source of truth we are working with, and the irrelevant noise. Usually when we try to get a lot of documents, we try to get the most we can, but it's not the most we can. Talking with AI or talking with agentic automation, we usually focus on what is really important more than focusing on what can I get. Third, managing multiple, sometimes conflicting source of truth. We have 5 or 6 sections in the finance. We had 9 in the use case we shared. With these 9, each section has his own rules, and with these rules, we have some very conflicting rules. Like someone work with a tax with tax and VAT, some department does not work with these. So you need to manage the separation between these and how to flag, how to teach the agent to flag what is necessary at checkpoint to drive the agent towards the correct context. This is better than having the agent knowing everything but is not able to decide what to go with. And last thing, communicating why. The agent, just consider it as a brain. If it's a brain, a human with a brain, he will ask why. Why are you doing this? So you shall set the answer before the agent run. That's how you can guarantee the output as you want. With that, you shall answer it knowing that the agent does not have the background knowledge you have, the background knowledge the SMEs have. You shall teach the agent about everything and about all things. And again, after that, we felt that there are questions that we must set, and it's the framework of working as agentic PA. We have 5 questions, we have 5 answers. The 5 questions are, these are the questions to ask to the SMEs and to ask to myself and ourselves within the discovery phase of any agentic automation project. The first thing is the context source. From where do I get the context, my context? Usually, and you will know about this, we can have the context in some documents with the specific types hosted on OneDrive, on SharePoint, on Google Drive, on some certain sources, and it can be hosted on the orchestrator if you are aware of RPA and how things are going. But will they be in one place? Will they be divided? Will they be divided on subfolders? What is the context of and the understanding of separating these documents and these inputs? The second thing, the decision logic. I know that we have the context, we have the source of truth we need, but how to decide? I have the policies, but I don't know how to decide out of these. So I shall get the decision logic fully understandable and teach it to my agent so the agent can set the correct logic. The third thing, the data variety. Although agent can work with a lot of formats, with varying formats, and so I need to know because at the last, agentic automation is part of the process of automation, and the automation process have some parts with rule-based and some parts with agentic brain guiding things and driving things away to the proper way. So working with a lot of data, a lot of inputs, we shall define how we will get our input. Not like it's not more about anymore it's not more about what is the shape of the input, but what is the input? Will I get input at all? Also, the exception patterns. We get a lot of exceptions usually with any automation based on how the systems are changing, how the inputs are changing. But here we have a way to solve them. So we need to use it properly. Using it, we need to know what is the usual exception pattern and how usually the humans' reasoning and awareness try to solve these. We shall know this logic. And also the performance goals. What does success look like? Usually SMEs, when you talk about agentic, they have a lot of hopes, a lot of exceptions. They go with their exceptions to the sky, but without defining a proper success goal and proper closure area for the closure points and criteria for the project, we will get just an evolving and evolving requirements as if we are not doing anything. So we shall know what is the success, what are the limits, and get as much as the context, as much as possible from the context we need. And these are the answers of the questions. We shall get all the list of documentations and policies and everything from the SMEs and the unwritten knowledge they know and they use for their decision making. We shall also know the flow diagrams, the reasoning narratives, how they are doing things and how they are thinking in the back end. Also, the data variety. We need to get a sample of the data sets covering all possible formats as much as possible. These supports us in building correct automation. And as VAs, you are the first line and the first wall, first firewall in the project. You shall know how to um, drive this project to a success or getting a missing requirements and a missing input that will afterwards let the project fail or get a harder time for the developers. Also, the exceptions pattern and the performance goals, the target metrics, the customer feedback examples, what they are expecting from the agent and from the project. And with that said, let's just end the presentation with a quick quote. A traditional BA shows the way, an agentic BA teaches AI to choose the way. We are not anymore defining everything. We are now teaching the AI to define everything by itself, by the steps. With all of that said, do you have any questions?
We have multiple moments, so you can have a look at the chat and then I can share and take it further.
Okay, great.
So one thing that I have observed, everyone is asking us like any use cases, something on that part. Whether you can share us that agentic requirement documents which you are talking about. So for you, yes, we will be sharing everything, but for that you have to wait. So wait for session 5 where we have planned the documentation sharings templates. There we'll be sharing that and also other things as well. You will quickly get it. So yeah, now moving to the next part is the Mentimeter part where you can get a chance to be at the top of the leadership where you can show how much you know and you can also learn and some goodies from us. So I quickly request everyone to scan this Mentimeter, and once you are there we can start a quick quiz and we can see how much you have able to grasp today, so that will be and also if you want to have some goodies, use this time to go to this part.
Can you show QR once again, please?
Sure. Yes, are you able to see now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, okay, so what I have to do?
So once you are there, you will
I have
automatically
to
be
do
there
a
in
code.
this.
I have to
Just
enter it.
one
Okay,
minute.
3648. Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
And just putting the code on the chat window, you
Yeah.
can take it from there as well.
And I see that there are a lot of questions that are already here. We will definitely take those up
After
to
this, yeah.
Can you share the link as well in the chat box?
The link is very simple. Just go to mentimeter.com. That's it. I'll just put it here. One moment.
Sure. Thank you.
I can
Okay,
see
sure.
94, 95 people, players has already, and now we have crossed 100. Okay, 120. We have reached 120. Okay, cool. I think I can see many people has already joined. So without further ado, let me start it. Okay. So finger first, please answer quickly to get in the leaderboards, please.
Secretary, please add the meeting notification.
Danish, I see you have registered for all sessions with confirmation that we're going to use resolution. Danish, can you check your calendar for the on the email through which you registered? Maybe your calendar is already blocked there. Else you can see spam folder too. There is a chance that it might have been.
Okay. I can see 104 participants has marked correctly. And yes, agents, when we are talking about agents, so definitely static rule-based decision making is not what we are talking about. Thank you. Now moving to the next question. So before that, let's see the leaderboard. Who is leading the quiz leaderboard? And okay, Harshit Sharma is the fastest. Let's see whether you are able to continue your journey here. Moving to the next question. Okay, 144 players already here. Yeah. This might be little tricky. What you will ask. Don't think from a traditional mindset. Okay. Here there are two things. We can see it more or less option B and D. Yes. In a traditional way, you might be thinking this is not a traditional way, option D, but little advanced than traditional BAs where you will be thinking, okay, how can we re-engineer this process to remove human involvements completely? And if you ask any questions, trust me, guys, no one will help you. If you from day one when you start thinking that how can you remove humans, the whole objective of any process is to just collaborate. Humans will be there, so never take that approach. Always think how employees face variation and disrupt standard workflow. How can you re-engineer? That is what you have to think about. Okay,
We
let's
are a
see.
system more than replacing.
Yeah, okay, let's see the leaderboard again. And this time Shraddha was fastest, but Shanmukh, yeah, leading the board. Okay, moving to the next question. All ready? Okay. Okay, this is on the easier term, like what is decision making means, like. Okay, and yes, everyone has chosen the right answer. Option A, choosing between options based on context. Okay, move to the leaderboard of this, expecting the same people on the top. Let's see. Okay, Shraddha again fastest, but yeah, now we have a swap. Okay, let's see. Let's move to the next question, question number 4. all ready? And let's start. Okay, right judgment, everyone. This is what high variability and context dependent decisions, and this is where agents can give you right return on investment. And yes, let's see the leaderboard. Here we can see, okay, Utsav was fastest, but Sanmukh is like leading the board. And here is the last question. So the first three, it's between you, how you can continue on the leaderboard, or if there are some changes, let's see. Okay, everyone ready? Let's start. Okay, a little surprised for people who have chosen discovery design, but yes, the correct answer is monitoring and reinforcement. Okay, so the most awaiting part is the leaderboard, where we can see who is the toppest or the fastest person. Fastest is again Sadiq. I think you are first, but Shanmukh, congratulations. Let me take.
Congratulations. Cheers.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you can expect something, Sanmukh. Uh, we'll talk about that very later. So since we are already crossing time, so I just wanted to quickly touch on one of the very important program that our community is running on, is the Community Certification Framework program. So you can use this QR code to join this particular program where you will get free certification. So there are 12 certification which you can reveal from June to July, and you can take any certifications irrespective you're a developer, tester, use Agentic. You can use this program to upskill yourself. And then again, this is not everyone will get a chance. If you are getting it, join the wait list and you will definitely get a site from us if there are availability. So don't miss this opportunity, I would say. Yeah, I know we are running sort of time. I would definitely take questions. If anyone wants to unmute, feel free to use this time. And for those, like if we are running late of time, you can reach out to myself, Mohammed, Jobin, and have any questions of your, you can please clarify. We'll be happy to answer anything on that.
Yeah. Pranav, I just want to highlight one thing. So
Yeah.
we got a lot of questions here, and we will be having subsequent sessions on coming days, right? And most of the questions will be get answered on those sessions. So that's there in the agenda. So don't worry, be consistent on this series. All those questions will be get answered, and on the final session, if anything specifically not answered, we will look into those things as well.
And the best part is we all are very active in LinkedIn. So anytime when you feel it that you want to know something, please do reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer anything. Okay, so anyone wants to use this opportunity to unmute yourself and ask any questions, so we can take 1-2 questions because there are 189 participants. So we can take 1-2 questions. Happy to take.
So, one question I wanted to understand. So, in UiPath BA, we have a lot of artifacts in UiPath BA programs, right? So, discovery and all, and I really see those are very value added artifacts. So, similarly, I was just thinking for agentic AI, agentic automation program, how does artifact differ? So be it
Yeah.
questionnaires you are going to send to customer or like PDD or all of
Yes, absolutely bang on that part, Narayan. So even we are once we started this journey, we are again on the same page. Okay, we know in the PDD, we know as is to be, we have very few sort of questions. So, okay, we'll ask what is the volume, structured, unstructured, these things kind of question. That was a template there. But in Agentic, to be very honest, till now, I won't say we have got the right template. We are still on the phase where we have a template, we are using it, different templates, but it varies based on the clients. So it's still, we can give you one template where at least 70% of your case will be done. But still, the phase that we are growing, we are learning, we are also making changes. So you can expect again the same artifacts will be available soon in the academy. I can't guarantee you because that is not my area of expertise.
Got you. Got your
but,
point.
but yes, right now the answer is we are still 50-70% of where we can ask, okay, we know what is LLM or how your agent work, what is the role of agent. So this is what the templates, new templates look like. This is what I can say.
Just one more thing, a follow-up question, which I'm facing in my current project. So basically, like as you rightly mentioned, unwritten rules which are there in the brain of SME. So even if SME want to share it everything, he cannot share. Process is very complex. He cannot share in one go, and really it's like in bits and pieces we get the information. And when we have to probe, we have to ask a lot for that. So yeah, so like you or anyone has faced the similar thing, and if
this will be there, I think the whole wherever we will interact with customers, SMEs, some or the other points that they will miss, and you have to come back. So this point is, I think, in loop. We do have faced this. Yes, I would say only way of doing it is asking more and more questions and focusing on why. So if you have noticed, you don't think that they have told you everything. Think from your perspective. Now take help of any LLM models, that if you're new to this, what kind of right questions can we ask? If this is the process, what can we ask from this? So I would say this is how I do it. Okay, so maybe you can take the same approach. Before going to any SMEs, you know the agenda, you know the context. Be prepared yourself. Okay, what kind of questions can I? Because these all are new, so there is nothing a perfect answer, I would say.
Okay.
thank you.
Hi all.
Thanks a lot. I will give chance to others.
Hi all. This is Funny.
Oh, wait. I think
I can
yes.
ask one question. Yeah, this is Funny.
Pranav,
Am I audible?
Funny. Namrata has raised hand before you.
Sorry.
So
Go ahead, please. Yeah, I understand.
Hi, Pranav. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for this session. This was much needed. So my question is mostly regarding NFR requirements. How do you guys handle this? Because there will be a lot of uncertainties when it comes to non-functional requirements, right? Based on how much of data is involved, or what kind of entities we are going to bring into the picture in terms of cloud, in terms of handling data security. So what kind of NFR requirements are we generally looking at here? Are there any unexpected requirements that come up for agentic automation?
See, NFR, if you talk me, I generally think about performance, also usability, availability. These are what we are still on that phase of while talking to clients. Apart from the functional requirements, we are also thinking about compliance, portability, compatibility, those things. How can we support others? So again, there is, I would say, no general things that is there. Again, it is on that phase where we are still doing something, asking clients, okay, what can we do? Agentic part, which LLM will work? Then tried and tested method, or again, hit and trial, I would say, the same thing.
Okay.
I may also add something.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Until now, agentic automation is working only on UiPath Cloud. So the security thing is related to if you will be able to store your documents on the orchestrator on the UiPath Cloud or not. This UiPath provide an AI trust layer and some layers of encryption for your data and for your documents. If the client accepts this and these conditions, the client may give the documents. So about what are the documents that we need? The enough to teach the agent what to do in the cases we are automating. Not a lot to com- to just give the agent a
Mm-hmm.
a conflict what to do, but enough to teach and guide the agent.
So, just one more question here, Mohammed. Have you ever created an SOP for the agentic framework? If that is the case, if we are setting the context for the agents or the multi-agents, do we really go and rewrite the SOP?
Until now, it's more of handling this in a way very similar to the traditional RPA, but just injecting some of the lines and some of the details that are related to the agentic conditions and the agentic context, but not as like it's not fully agentic thing. It's still under the automation, the whole automation thing.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you.
Yes. First Avinav, then Fani, and then I think, yeah, Avinav, please quickly one questions.
Yeah. Hi, Pranav. Thanks for this session. Thanks, Jobin. Thanks, Mohammed. It was very insightful. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Avinav, loud and clear.
So my question is more from the licensing point of view, because if we are doing something, if we show a proof of concept for any of the use case, the next is the question from the SME and even from the COE point of view is what is the cost of it? So I asked in the chat and Kehur answered one of the point, but still I want more clarity that, okay, each LLM call will consume one agent using unit, and if agent is using a context grounding based upon one of the knowledge base, AI unit will come into picture. That cost I'm still not sure, and I can see from the documentation it says in a day at enterprise level, if we are on using models on UiPath Cloud, we can make only 250 LLM calls. Like in a day, only 250 will be allowed for
No,
across all the agents or on
n-
one particular agent.
no, I will tell you. So, say, suppose if you are an automation developer, okay, and
Hmm.
you are doing development, correct?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
as per the documentation, 250 agent call will be free of cost every day. Okay. If you
Okay.
overshoot
Okay.
250 agent unit, okay, then it is going to charge from the agent unit bundle. Okay, so that is
Okay.
for development. Okay, now assume that you done the development and deploy the agent into UAT or production and you are running
Hmm. Hmm.
processes. So every
Hmm.
time it is going to charge one agent unit,
Hmm.
but in one
Hmm.
agent, again, there is a multiple scenarios like you are calling multiple time LLM, you are calling
Hmm.
multiple tool, multiple context. So it depends on how you crafted your prompt or how you design your agent. Accordingly, it is going to consume multiple LLM. So that's why I mentioned that each LLM call wise, it is going to charge one agent unit.
Okay, so if while debugging or while if we have a developer license or we are working on a studio web, then 150 agent units will be free. LLM calls will be free. Once we deploy the agent as a process on orchestrator or on Maestro, then for each of the NLP call, for each of the LLM call, one agent unit will be directed. And if that call requires a context grounding, then one AI units will be directed.
Correct. You're understanding correct.
Okay. And then,
Abhinav,
of course, the agent.
more on that, like, see, different LLMs, OpenAI, Gemini, the
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
calls will be different, which model you are using. So this is in general how you are using. So that varies different from the model perspective, context grounding. Now MCP will come into picture. So what you are using and all depends.
So
What's your
from the documentation, I think any of the model which I use, whether it's OpenAI, Gemini, or AWS, all of them are, as per the documentation, Kehul, correct me,
Yeah,
will consume one
correct.
agent unit.
Correct. As of now, yes, all the what any model you can use, Entropy, Cloud, or Gemini, whatever is supported currently in cloud, each LLM call wise one agent unit.
Hmm.
okay?
The point,
Okay.
And
the
And
point is more
Abhinay,
about the.
Sorry.
Go
Yeah.
on.
yeah, Abhinay, I just want to highlight one more thing on the context grounding standpoint. See, the consumption charges, which is based on the injection type which you are choosing, for the basic type, meaning like a free text kind of thing, which is free of charge. Whereas you want to inject documents which are having images, tables, or some sort of other kind of document which is very difficult to interpret, that time it will be chargeable. So
Okay,
it's
so
based
you
on
mean
our
to
usage. Yeah.
okay, so if in the indexes or the storage container I have a Word document or Excel where where the data is stored, that will be free of cost. If
Yeah.
No,
it
no, no,
involves
no, no, Bino. You're a little bit understanding wrong. What Jobin is trying to say that in orchestrator, when you create a index, there is an option available. You want to create an index for basic or advanced. So basic is a free.
Hmm,
Then you can attach any kind of document over there.
okay, I think I have used advanced. I'm not sure why. What
Abhinav,
is the difference
we
between them?
can take this question
Offline. Yeah.
offline,
Okay,
and
okay,
maybe we can give
sure, sure,
other Fanis, please.
sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Kehul.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jobin.
Thank you all for today's session. So my question is basically now everybody is talking about agentic AI and agents building with AI. So what is the key role or guidelines generally when it comes to how depth we need to even understand the LLMs or ML models to based on the context? Is it the expectation from the industry that even we should also as a solution architect to understand what kind of LLM to what problem to use and what kind of I own models I want to build that. So this also as part of the solution architect, we need to understand depth when it
So
comes to
you
AI
are
solution building.
Fani, correct me if you are thinking from a BA perspective, you are asking this question, or a
No,
solution
no,
architect?
it's not as a solution architect, as a overall, because now everything
Okay.
we're talking about is agent. Okay.
Now approach is, if whoever is, so basically now there is nothing called solution architect. The roles has also changed. Now there is something called prompt engineering, feature engineering team, then agentic BAs, and like those terms are there. So we expect now everyone should know basic stuffs of everything. So you know what is OpenAI, what is Gemini, what is RAG, what is MCP. So these, what is LangChain, what is Hugging Face. So a basic information, general knowledge. You might not need to be pro, but how to do it, how to work on it, everyone should know it. Otherwise it would be like, because now everything will be related. If I'm talking the same language, if you are not able to understand, okay, what is LLM, what it does, so that becomes a problem. So expectation is, have a basic knowledge of everything.
Yeah, and
I, I,
Pranav, you have also questioned, right, which model we need to select, right? So hope you know last week only ChatGPT has released the version 5. So you write a prompt, it will take his own call. Accordingly, it will decide which sub-model I need to call, right? And UiPath is also planning to launch that in soon, ChatGPT. So we don't need to select manually any model. So that is also the option is coming in a upcoming release as well.
Okay.
And
So
for now, Fanny, Fanny, just to understand this, some models have different context window limits. So
yeah.
you are choosing between the context window limit and the reasoning power of the model. You can choose for a simple task a very powerful model, and the very powerful model with the whole reasoning will take more time and will mess things up. While this was a simple task, and the Gemini Flash would do it better. The same thing with using ChatGPT, for example, or OpenAI models. OpenAI models are powerful with the reasoning and with these things. So if you give them a very big task with a chain of thought prompting, this will be better. And same
Okay.
for anthropic models and so on. So understanding these are based understand which model to choose is better based on your case and checking what shall fit better.
It's mostly trial and error, Funny, like which one works for you right now, as Keval already mentioned. So
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5 is giving you that option. You can expect in the coming months, the technology is so fast, it is moving so fast. So you can expect tomorrow there will be some release where this problem will be solved. So there is no answer on this, but yes, trial and error is
Yeah, I
what.
got it. The reason I've asked this question is because we have been with the 7 years using UiPath, any technology enterprise companies, right? Now we are shifting that. Now when it comes to building AI solutions as an automation, the expectations as a solution architect, anybody, let's assume when you're solving a complex problem, there you need some assistant from the ML engineer ops or maybe who are really good at those. Is it the fair expectation from the industry also, or no? Because we are a solution architect, we need to do everything. So you have to be aware of that. Is it how the industry is thinking in
Yeah,
that direction when it
industry
comes?
wise, if you ask me now,
Yeah.
you have to become the jack of all.
Okay.
Master of one should be there, okay? But
Okay.
jack of all is also there now. So this is
Okay.
what I would say, Funny. Okay,
Thank
fine.
you. Thanks for clarification.
I think no more question. Thank you everyone for joining. What I would suggest, be there in this series. Your all questions will be clarified. Just join every sessions, and you will also learn and also get a chance to get a goodies from UiPath. That is an additional thing. So thank you so much everyone for joining today's. We will be sharing the documents and the recordings very soon. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you everyone.
Nice to meet
Thank you
you
for
all.
the session. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.